Hello everyone, welcome to QA Labs for you. I hope you are safe and healthy. This is episode 1 of QA Samvad season 2. In this episode, we have a special guest who is having 14 plus years of experience as a quality engineer. He also started his journey as a functional test engineer. Later on, he has worked on a couple of automation frameworks. Apart from that, he has also explored DevOps, cloud, and AI. He is very much passionate about leveraging AI into test automation. He is a content creator, author, speaker, and a mentor. So if you are someone who is looking for solutions or looking for advices in this AI era, I guess this episode is for you. And if you are someone who is scared of AI, I think this episode is for you. So without wasting any more time, let's welcome Anup on the show. Hi Anup, how are you?
Hey, I am good, Srikanth. How are you?
All good, all good. Thanks for joining QA Samvad. And I think it's a good chance to know about you and your journey. So I just want to know, and I guess my audience also want to know how you started your journey.
So I started my career as a technical writer, and there I was very much curious to learn how to write code because I was always helping the developer to, build the SRS, FRS, HLD, LLD, all these things. I was more into that. Yeah, I got a curiosity of how to write code, how to build software, and that curiosity drove me into learn coding. And yeah, so it was the opportunity was actually accident.
Okay.
Okay, so it was more about you know trying to understand how the QA process and how to do manual testing. Slowly, I got into these manual QA activities, and later on, I realized that it's not only about these manual test cases, bugs,
Right.
manual execution. It's more about understanding a complete software and how to improve the software quality. And slowly you will get to know that how to automate the whole software and make sure that it works everything 24/7. And so that's where I fell in love with QA engineering and decided to make my.
Nice, nice. I think someone has accepted that it's a accidental.
It was accident. Yeah, it was not my first choice.
Okay. So my again the next question is because it is 2025, right? And in 2025, still QA is not a first choice for the engineers. So what you feel, and I mean, what could be the reasons?
Okay. First thing, it's lack of awareness. I think, when we say lack of awareness, it's more about people think it is about manual test cases, finding a bug, and how many bugs you find whole day. That is how you are evaluated. So when these things are there, right? They don't. It's more. It's not so attractive.
Mhm.
So it's not, they don't understand, people don't understand or think in a perspective that it's a engineering domain, and it's more all about how to build a good software,
Mhm.
right? And another one I think is it's about perception of creativity. Okay, so people think coding and development is more creative work and than QA engineering work. But honestly, any engineering work inside IT is actually a creativity. Okay, it's up to you how you think, how you take your work, and
Mhm.
how you build your mindset into. Okay, and third thing is actually we all need to accept it. So the cost of
Okay.
uh, cost of a QA, if you calculate in dollar, right, it's less, right? So people think it has a lesser career growth compared to other IT roles.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's all I could think of right now.
Right, right. Next question for you. As you said, you started your career as a functional test engineer, right? Just after the technical writer, and then you moved into the automation, right? So, how your transition was from manual to automation, and what was your first experience when you start working as a automation engineer?
Okay, so I was, though I was working as a technical writer, but actually I was doing a technical consulting role. So
Okay.
I worked with Government of Odisha, Government of Tamil Nadu, and as a technical consulting capacity where I was supposed to do system study of existing uh, manual process.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I need to understand each e-governance processes, and I need to write a system study, and then it will be, taken out as a case study, taken out as a tender or RFP, and or it. So the system study that I worked on, that will get converted to a FRS or SRS. Okay, so that's how that workflow was. So when they deliver the software, when we build small softwares for these e-government in this government department,
Mhm.
I was very curious to know how to test it, because we were the one who takes care of the UAT part of it, because we were in the customer side, right? So we were working in the customer side. So that was the time, curiosity, drive me to a greater extent,
Mhm.
and testing it manually end to end, taking, late night, working, and it was very time consuming. So that was the time curiosity, drived me towards learning coding and, understanding the different automation tool. And that was the time that Selenium ID and all I came to know, and how to record, and, how to play back. So yeah, so I think from that time, I learned about Selenium and associated tool and Java. Uh, Tried little bit of small coding, and executing those test cases. No, I don't say, I will not say test cases. I would say those are all scripts. I will say, because I didn't know that those, you call it as test cases. So slowly, yeah. Then I uh, got some opportunity to work on full-fledged automation roles. And yeah, it was challenging. I faced a lot of challenges, but
Mhm.
yes, those challenges made me, it helped me to build confidence over the time. I learned the importance of patience,
Okay.
continuous learning, and that I got the transition of both rewarding and enjoyable career.
Right, right, right. So, I mean, you have good exposure into automation, I guess, right? As you said, you have explored a lot of different frameworks, right, into the automation side. So, do you feel only scripting is automation? I mean, because most of the professionals are thinking that if they start scripting, they are automation testers. I mean, what else we have to think to become a great automation engineer?
It's not about only automation engineering or QA engineering or development or DevOps or anything. So if you want to become a great contributor to any domain that we work,
Mhm.
first thing is always curious and eager to learn. And for QA, if you ask me, then I would tell that learn something beyond what you see on your screen, right? So if you have that mindset and problem solving skill,
Mhm.
and making complex idea into, to a simple to everyone,
Mhm.
and pay attention to every detail that is floating around you, and yeah, I think these are all the quality. It's not about any technical skill. I don't think so. So it's about a person. It's not about skill.
Okay, okay. And in your career, you have also explored DevOps, right? Cloud and the AI part. So, what inspired you to move, I mean, into DevOps or cloud AI? Because you have already shifted career from technical writer to functional tester, then automation, right? And now again, you have explored some different domains. So, what could be the reasons? I mean, who inspired or what is your inspiration on that shift?
Okay. So I worked on Sony PlayStation for 8 years.
Nice.
Okay, so I learned a lot from the people around me,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I worked with a manager called Murugesan.
Okay.
Okay, so I worked with him for 8 long years. Okay, so he is someone who worked on my belief system
Mm-hmm.
and the thought process.
Okay.
Okay, so he worked on to an extent that, okay, how I think
Okay.
QA engineering is different,
Mm-hmm.
and how to solve a problem, and how to write beyond automation. And it's all about thinking. It's all about adding a value. It's all about adding, do beyond what you have asked to do, right? So, and last thing, learning ability. So, You need to work on your learning ability and you have to work on consistently. Yeah, I just wanted to add. So for in Sony, we had a huge Jenkins pipeline. It's a very, very big Jenkins pipeline with shared library, deployment pipeline, and yeah, testing the infrastructure. The infrastructure they had was to test the test that you write.
Okay.
Okay, so which is very, very challenging to, to understand the overall workflow. And it is all, there are multiple countries involved, multiple geographical location, the devices are there. So it's a very, very complex system. Okay, so that's where I know I was very curious because it's not easy to understand.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you work on any team, you cannot understand everything. That's true, right? So when you are not exposed to something, but you are supposed to manage something or you are supposed to do something, right? So when you try to solve a problem, obviously you look for, okay, what is beyond given to me? Why I'm inheriting this code? Okay, so why I'm by using a Jenkins file and I am inheriting some code from a different shared library which is not exposed to me, right? So when I want to understand these, small details of that I do, I write code in Groovy. That's where my curiosity, made me to look into YouTube videos, attended physical classes, take online classes like, upgrad, triple IT, LGMU, all these places. I try to learn all like, anything that will help me to understand how to build a end-to-end QA solution for a large scale product.
Mm-hmm.
So, so overall, it's all about understanding a QA infra,
Mm-hmm.
understanding how quality will add value to a large scale product like PlayStation. That was the main motivation behind my journey.
Mm-hmm. Fine, fine. Anup, that's great. Anup, I want to know one thing which is very much trending right now, and you are also, doing work around that, right? So it is all about AI. In 2025, we all know that this is AI era, and automation engineers are already there. So, as a automation engineers, how they can leverage AI into the automation,
AI, today AI has come. Okay, so tomorrow something else will come, right?
right?
Right. So 10 years back, Selenium was not there, right? So we were writing QTP. I think I came from that time. So QTP and VB scripting. So that was very, very popular there. So
Right.
that was the time when I started my career. So and Selenium came. Now Playwright, Cypress, Rest Assured with AI, Jenkins with AI. So many things will come. Tomorrow something else will come, right? So it's all about you cannot take the critical thinking part of a human for doing any job.
Right.
Okay, tools will come and go.
Hmm.
So you will always see these tools will add value to your career. Okay,
Right.
these tool will make sure that you are productive, you are more productive. If you are 20% productive now, if you learn this tool, then these tools will make sure that you are 200% productive or 100% productive.
Hmm. Right.
Right. So this is how it will make an impact. But the foundation part of understanding,
Hmm.
having a strong understanding on the data structures, Python, and how to build a framework, how to understand a pipeline, how to build a test pipeline, how to use a pipeline in a hybrid cloud services. Okay, and understanding AI and understanding the machine learning concepts,
Hmm.
right? Creating a smarter and efficient test. So these are all things actually you need to learn in 2025, I think.
Okay. And in 2025, I have seen lot of Gen AI power tools, right? They are doing automation without coding, right? So what do you think the future of automation engineer in next 2 years or 5 years? With this AI power tools.
In next 2 to 5 years, you will see this auto-generating of the test cases will go bigger. Agentic AI, so it's more about agentic AI agents will work with you, sit with you, and help you to generate test cases, more robust test cases. Now they are not so much efficient in generating certain test cases, but yeah, we are there. It will also try to help you to debug complex failure, flaky test, right? We have a If you have a 250 test cases, you
Mhm.
want to execute 250 scripts, right? So you can just take it like 30% of your test would be always go to flaky, right? So you will always spend a lot of effort on working on flaky tests. So those, identifying those patterns, identifying those complex component of your product, those areas I think AI will make a bigger impact, because I'm not a AI engineer, so I'm just like you.
Okay.
Okay, so we all are from a different domain, and we have 8 hours or 12 hours to think of our how to make our work better,
Yeah.
right? So what I understand is AI is an AI, agentic AI. So it's all about, so these are all tools for me. These are all, they will all work with us.
Mhm.
Okay, so agent, if tomorrow some agents comes, right, they will come and sit and work with us just like human.
Mhm.
Okay, and they will help us. They will help us to generate and adjust test cases based on the changes in the application, predict issues.
Mhm.
Some might go wrong, some might some might work. So probability, everything is probability, right? So they will predict issues whether it will happen or not. And that was the time, or that will be the time where we will have to make a decision that this is prediction come, we
Mhm.
need to take some actions, or we need to make our judgment. So human judgment no one will take.
Okay.
There will be human judgment. Every role that AI
Mhm.
taking, we will always have a human judgment and human
Okay.
action on
I
to
mean,
work
but
on.
don't you think the head count will decrease in future? Because if agent start working with us, right, and they are efficient enough in writing the test cases or creating the scripts, right? So in that case, why should we go and add more QA into the team when the same work can be done with the agent? And if scripting can be done with the agent, so why should we go for automation engineers or SDET in future? That's my, main point here. What do you think on that?
I think sometime back, okay, I wanted to just I something came to my mind. It was
Right.
like earlier Kodak camera was there, right? So we take photos of that. So now I think the settings that we use now also we are doing the same thing,
Mm-hmm.
but in our phone camera, right?
Correct.
Right. So earlier we used to use this CD player.
Correct.
Right now we don't have it, right? We have Spotify, we have
Mhm.
Ghana.com, right? So the shops that they were selling those CD player or cassettes and all, right? So they all evolved, right? So they stays, they are in the same place in my hometown.
Mm-hmm.
They are selling something else in the same domain,
Okay.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So they also learned to adopt the change that we see in the market. So
Okay.
if you don't learn to change yourself, or if you don't learn to change with the time, then obviously you will have a problem. Any job,
I agree. Okay.
anything you do, it's a human race, right? So anything you do, you have to, change is the only constant, right? So you have to learn, you have to, adjust yourself based on the situations, right? So
I totally agree with you, Anu. Like we have to upskill every day. But in this AI era, I have seen the race is too fast. In every 6 months, there is something new, right? And we have to be on the toe to learn those things. Otherwise, if you would not learn those new things, definitely you will be behind, right? So in your career, what I feel right now. So it's kind of a race or a fast race, I can say, in the IT world right now, with this evolving AI thing, right?
yeah, but there are roles like prompt engineering, ML testing engineer, chatbot testers.
Hmm.
Those new roles we didn't see last few years back, right?
Right, 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 right. Agree.
So if you go to Naukri and you compare the 2 years back,
Mhm.
the job categories and now the job categories, there are 30%, I think 20%, 30% are into generative AI roles, right?
Right, right, right.
So we need to think about that also, right?
Agree. Agree with your point. Correct, correct, Anup.
So if let us assume that you are having 10 years of experience and you are a Java developer and you want to make a transition to generative AI domain. So it is very easy for you to get into the generative AI domain because you can only have 1 or 2 year experience and you are already expert in the industry as a developer and you can easily switch into those roles and multiply your salary. So
Mm.
it's all about how you think,
Mm. It's
right?
about perception, I guess, right?
It's about how you think, how you take. It's all about mindset. You remember the Mortgage manager?
Right, 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 right. In the
So
starting you told, right?
yeah, you need to see,
Mm.
be it your work life, be it your personal life, you need to add value.
I agree.
If you are not adding value, then you are
Right, right, right. So Anup, I mean, in your career, you also did a research, right, on the AI part, right? So, why did you choose that field for the research? Any specific reason?
okay. I am not a good communicator. I think you understand that I have a stammering issues. I have a mother tongue influence, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not someone who can, who can come to camera all the time and speak something what I know. That's one weakness I have.
Mm-hmm.
Second is I love to read. I think I recently developed it after college.
Mm-hmm.
I love to read. I understand. Okay, so my parents are teachers, so somehow you know, I developed that habit
Mm-hmm.
of reading new things, curiosity,
Mm-hmm.
learning ability. So when I had all these things developed recent times in last couple of years,
Mm-hmm.
then I met with one of my thesis supervisor. Her name is Rajni Madam, Dr. Rajni Madam. She has a lot of white papers and patents. So uh, she worked on my mindset on how to do research. Okay, so how to, there are a lot of things I learned when I worked with her.
Okay. Nice.
Okay, and I think by forcefully I got into research because in masters
Mm-hmm.
you have to do research work
Yes.
to get your degree, right? So I think that's where, okay, why what type of research I should do?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if I do it though I am doing my masters in cloud and DevOps, but I cannot. If I try to do some research, then I have to start everything from scratch. But
Correct.
what if I do research on something that I have expertise, right? So then I thought, okay, let me think of something on QA and okay, QA and generative AI. When I gave these options to my university, they accepted one of these topic,
Mm-hmm.
and then I started working on it. That was the time I started working on only AI, and I wanted to look into the all the research paper that were available for AI and testing and automation. But that was a time when generative AI came to picture. After generative AI, agentic AI came to picture. So it's not it's not by choice. It's by like, okay, so I know this. Okay, let me see what is this. Okay, let me see what is agentic AI. So that's how.
Whatever is coming, you are just taking
So
steps.
it's like connected. Everything is connected, right? So when you have a study, when you have a research paper with you, with a workflow of a transformer model, and
Mhm.
some other new model comes, so it is easy for you to understand, right?
So Anup, I mean, apart from this research work, okay, you are also a author of a book, right? You have documented something, right? So can you just share the insights?
Okay. So actually. Uh, Whatever I wrote that point of time, I think 50% I would like to rewrite again. So if you given a chance or given a time, I would love to rewrite it. Okay,
Yeah.
so I just failed in the marketing part of the book,
Mm-hmm.
uh, but it's not a book as such. I would say it's not something that will that is something purposefully written as a book. So
Okay.
it was like I started working on my research paper for my university, and I lost my mother
Mm-hmm.
in between that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I asked for a deferral, and then university agreed for it. Then I got around 6 months extra time to, go through all these paper, read all the new papers,
Mm-hmm.
understand. So when I had a complete note with me
Mm-hmm.
to understand what are the research were done in AI, in AI and in automation and testing and QA.
Yeah.
So it was like a book. And someone told me like, why don't you try publishing it?
Mm. Right.
Okay, so I use the software called I think I met with Sweta ma'am, Sweta Samota, who is helping people to become an author.
Okay.
So I met her,
Mhm.
and she taught me actually how to frame your own book.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, her guidance made sure that it is a, structured book,
Okay. Fine.
and yeah, that's all. It just happened. So.
Great, great. I think everything happened for a reason, right? So there could be a reason, and maybe someone will get inspired after listening all those stories from this episode, right? Fine. So Anup, my next question is from learning perspective because this is AI era, right? And we always wants to stay ahead. So what all resources you usually prefer to stay ahead in this AI era? For our audience, if they want to stay ahead in this AI era, what are your suggestions? I mean, if you are following some content creator, you can also, I mean, suggest we guys can follow them also. Yeah.
I would say, I think everyone is nowadays Instagram in LinkedIn is more powerful than us,
Mm-hmm.
because what I know, if you just talk to anyone else who is 1 year experience, right, they might know more than us.
Right, 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 right.
Right. So that is something I think you might see in your office also, right? So it is always about staying humble.
Mm.
Okay, and you should always make sure that you should not have that ego that okay, ego to not to learn something from someone. You should have that student mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you should have a student mindset, and you should be open to learn from anyone that you work with,
Right,
be it your reporting manager or your reportee or mentor or mentee, anyone else.
right,
You should be open to learn anything, and uh, anyone in your team, cross domain also.
right.
Second is building an engineering mindset.
Mm.
Okay, so you need to have an engineering mindset and a problem solving mindset. Okay, so these are all the three areas that you need to work on. So when you work on your mindset and
Mm-hmm.
when you work on your problem solving skills, right, you can actually frame your, you know, s- plan how to learn AI, how to learn machine learning, how to understand these technology are working together in your own domain, and you can plan your, daily routine, and then you need to learn proactive approach to learn something new and try to solve small problem initially. Then later on, you focus on solving a bigger problem.
Right, 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 right. Got it, got it. So, Anup, I mean, you have shared the plan how we can stay ahead, right? But for a experienced QA engineer who is having 10 plus years of experience, because this is a very common query I usually, I mean, seen in the market, in the community, right? Like we are having 10 plus years of experience, now what should we do? Someone are still stuck into the functional part or the manual part, someone are into the automation but they are stuck, like they are doing selenium with java now, playwright with the js is booming, right? So they are confused, and now this ai, right, where we can easily write the code or generate the code, everything we can do it, right? So they are totally confused, where should they go and what should, I mean, what should they learn next?
Okay, so if you work on Jenkins, then look for Jenkins AI.
Okay.
Okay, if you work on Rest Assured, then look for Rest Assured with AI.
Okay.
Okay, so if you are working with Playwright, then you see there are a lot of tools available where Playwright can generate codes, right? And you look for GitHub Copilot, Cursor AI. So these are all certain things that you need to work on it. AI should always be there if you want to stay ahead of the market.
Okay.
As
Fine.
of today, yeah, I don't know what will happen, because right, how the evolving market is evolving. So
Right, right.
you need to you need to learn what is, there are so many tools. If you see Lambda test, right, they have developed a beautiful tool which will generate your test cases. If you go to Eggplant, you see there are a lot of things. You go test trigger, there are so many tools available.
Fine, Anup. So, Anup, I mean, who are your go-to persons with whom you try to do some kind of brainstorming, discuss some innovation ideas, right? So, is there someone who is your go-to person?
I think not one,
Mm-hmm.
many, I would say. And I always I work closely with my manager.
Okay.
Okay, so that's what I learned.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I work with my team first. If something I'm talking with respect to my domain, so I will always try to add value to what I do every day.
Right.
So when I think in those terms, then I would always present it to my architect or my senior architect or a product manager or a developer, senior developer or a director or anyone else who closely working with me. So when I even though they are not from my domain, they present a different perspective, right? So when they present a different perspective, it actually triggers my mind. Okay, I should think in this way. Okay, so these are all the group of people, and it varies from project to project because when you uh, different stages of life, there were different set of people where they are with me to help me to discuss my ideas.
Mm-hmm.
And this is about people. And apart from the people, I listen to a lot of podcasts
Okay.
and watch these tech communities.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and a lot of channels in Discord, and then industry meetups. Like a lot of things happens around me in Bangalore, so I just try to go there and see what people are talking and what they are what they understand on certain things, and I try to socialize with them. So yeah, these are all certain things. I think that's all I do, not frequently, kind
Mm-hmm.
of.
Okay. So you talked about podcasts. So I think this is your first podcast, talk show kind of thing, right?
Yeah, this
As
is
a
my first podcast. This is first time in my life I'm coming on camera.
Oh, nice, nice, nice. So, I mean, how you are feeling right now?
It's
Okay,
good.
okay. One last question, Anup. I mean, for freshers, right, who are coming into the QA domain or who are still into their final years, right? So, what is your advice? Because this is again AI era, right? I'm putting this word so many times, right? Because we have to understand this AI will grow in next few years, right? And we have to upskill accordingly.
Okay, so frankly speaking, no one is interested to take your advice or take my advice.
Okay,
Okay, so that's bitter truth.
right,
Okay, so but because my perspective, again, it is my perspective, right?
right,
So it varies for you, varies from others. So the way I see things, that I can present it.
right.
Or the way so it's all depends on so if you work on you come from a big companies and you work on those high-end work on those high-end QA solution for these big products, then your mindset will change, right? So they will have a very different mindset than me, right? So when I say mindset, you have to work on your mindset. Okay, so it's not about advice as such. It's about a skill. A skill is about mindset, right? So in school, they don't give eraser, right?
Right.
Because they want you to think before you write,
Correct.
right? So that's what. So it's an engineering mindset that we need to work on,
Mm-hmm.
and you need to understand that writing a Selenium code or a Cypress code or a Playwright code is not enough. Okay, and you need to think beyond coding, or if you are writing a test cases, then you need to think how you can add value, how what else you can add value to your work life daily,
Mm-hmm.
right? And how you adapt to a change.
Right.
Job role in future in AI era, if you the way the things are moving,
Mm-hmm.
job role can be anything.
Right.
Okay, job role can be anything, but the critical part of human thinking, the critical human thinking and telling what to do to AI is all will always stay with us,
Right. 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 Right.
right? So tools may come and go, right?
Right.
So we need to, we need to learn consistently. We need to we need to be very open to adopt the changes. Okay. And I think I just told change is the only constant, right? And stepping out from the comfort zone, 30 minutes daily,
Mhm.
small target, right? Small target, weekly, monthly, or maybe by like 2 months once, revisit. And yeah, last thing is find your ikigai. There is a Japanese word called ikigai.
Okay.
Work on it daily,
Okay.
okay, and you will see 1 year after you will be a different person altogether.
Nice. Nice.
Okay, and on a technical side, if you ask me, then I will always say that if you are comfortable with basic, then go to the fundamental of AI,
Mhm.
machine learning, and do some practical project. There are so many tools available where where you can execute a lot of projects. You don't need to even pay anyone anything.
Mhm.
And then you see how automation testing or cloud computing or how DevOps is happening. You can actually build a software without any code. So you need to understand how you can learn these techniques, how these whole solutions are built without any code. So if you focus on building these skills from the college itself, right, skill based, you will get a skill based job. You will not get a
Right.
you get a different type of job altogether. So you will be different in your campus interview.
Right. Right. Agree. Agree, Anup. Thanks, Anup, for sharing all the advices and your experience with all of us. I'm sure audience will love this conversation, and definitely they get the idea how exactly QA will move further into this AI era. So thank you once again for your time.
Thank you. Thank you, Srikant. Thank you.